Okay, it's part two of the deception going on now. And I would talk about how they look, but I mean, there's almost a sure chance that's going to get removed. Like I said, it's not too hard. Just look at Howard Stern, Darrell Lynn, and Robert Spencer, and you'll know the core of how they look. And then look at young Trump, and look at young Ivanka, and look at young Chelsea Clinton, and then take a look, if you want to, at Obama's stepbrother, and you'll be lost. You need more details than that, which I don't think I can go into. But Robert Spencer is the classic look to them. Before they started having a lot of plastic surgery and stuff like that, and mixing with whites or changing to look like them, like Trump, that's what you can expect. So that's a given that he's one of them, right? And this is like, every time I look up this dude, like he's continually associated with him. Like when I look up on my one computer, which isn't even as aware as the other computer, setting browsers and accounts, that one instantly just brought up Geller. Like, and when I brought up his name, it didn't bring up Geller and Spencer right away. But I had known in the past. I mean, I looked at him for like a few seconds in the past, like years back, and it's like, yeah, well, obviously he's not who he's claiming to be. He's just a deception. Other than that, he wouldn't have gotten any attention anyways. So when I put his real name into the search, that is when it brought up his comrades. And even more telling over there, because apparently one of the EDL flags, or now all the EDL flags, have the Star of Molech on it as well. And that's just saying a lot when you put that there and you know better. He knows better. He's not just a gullible goyim who doesn't know. He knows who he's working with. He knows who controls him. And he knows that Arabs don't run the parliament. He knows this. Arabs have never run the parliament. It's obvious that he's a deception. He's not talking about who controls the media, which I'm sure it's probably some of the same people over there, but at least let's talk about the world's media. America, Russia Today, who controls all that stuff, or who created Russia Today at the least. But in America, their media controls the world, and that's who's advertising, and that's why he's hanging out with Robert Spencer and Pamela Geller, because that's Americans' media. He knows this. He knows who these people are. He's been around them enough, but it seems to be he's a name changer. He's a liar and deceptor. He's probably working, so he knows, but he's probably working with them to stage some fake arrest. Now there's multiple scenarios here you could argue are happening. They're letting him get arrested because he really is evil Muslims, and that's who you can't talk about. But it's more likely he's working with the government to scapegoat Muslims. He's working with them. And I wouldn't doubt it. People like this don't get put in jail at all. They just get show trials and stuff. I don't know how deep that goes, but I assume that happens a lot. But you could also argue he's like Hal Turner. Oh, he's being real. He was real. But he said the wrong thing, so he got put away. But we could also argue that Hal Turner is probably another agent. He looked guilty and shysty. So, how are we to know that he wasn't just set free because he was doing this stuff, right? And that was kind of like an Alex Jones dude. And like at this point, like if Alex Jones got arrested, you'd be like, that's not real. He works for the government. This is fake. You know, Alex Jones gets arrested because he said Muslims 3 times in one show. Uh-oh. Money bomb time. And I'm sure that's what's going on with him, right? With this guy in Europe right now, is they're having money bombs because, like Andrew England in America, the government's after him. You got to give him a lot of money. You got to give him all your money. Like Alex Jones, he needed a money bomb back in the day because he needed a bigger studio. He was running out, and he didn't buy all that studio with money bomb money. He couldn't even afford that underground bunker he created with money bomb money. I suppose that's $250,000, $250,000 bunker that was given to him, and you don't just build that for no reason as well. You're scared of everyone coming after you if you have a bunker. But he's probably working with them and doing that, but I bet you he's doing a money bomb because it's their tools. Like Ron Paul did this as well. It's their tool to take their money from you. You know, even some of these people I think are just selling books, so you buy their books and you don't have any freaking money. And I think you guys probably know the 2 people I'd be pointing at the most right now. They are deceptive, who told you the Jewish Trump family was going to save you from the Jews and lied to you about who his family is and all this. And they all work together in the same circles. So they're all, you know, if several of them are lying, they're all purposely lying because they're all working together. But I assume he's doing a money bomb right now. Maybe under a different name than money bomb. That looked real obvious. Everyone called it a money bomb. But he needs your help. Tommy needs your help. Crypto Tommy needs your help. He needs your cryptocurrency. He needs your dollars. He needs your pennies, your shekels, your yen, your euro. He needs all that. Just give it all to him. Because what happens when you don't have this money is you can't do anything. So you're counting on this dude to do everything for you. He's already lying. He's already deceiving you. But he's not going to magically take your money and then be your friend. That's not how this ever works. It's not how it's going to work. He's not going to go to jail and get butt raped by a Jewish person and then magically come out anti-Semitic. And even if he did, that would be really suspicious because all along he's been protecting them and working with them. I just showed you 2 of the top Zionist propagandists in America. And they're like his buddies. He's hanging out with them. And these are the type of people he's always hanging out with. These are the type of people, they're in the same network. They're like, Tommy Robinson ain't even like an alt-right Nazi network. He's like the previous, like, he's kind of like, they were created around the libertarian era. And that's why he's hanging out with those people from that era. Because he's part of that network and they all link each other and talk about each other and keep you in that network. And each network has this. You'll be able to see this if you just look. TYT, even Alex Jones split off in everyone. TYT split off into all these other groups. Now TYT split offs haven't been put in action yet. But I really doubt ABC, NBC, you know, all that split off into places like TYT and others because they were not going to use it. So then they used TYT and they used these other alternatives. So I assume TYT is just waiting for the next liberal cycle for their web of deception to come to the front. Now I'm going to pause this to get my food out. Okay, and his money bomb, money fund, lawyer fund, probably what he's actually calling it, legal fees fund, they all accumulate to one of these. Alex Jones did it and he wasn't in trouble. He just wanted more cheeseburgers. 4 cheeseburgers a day habit is every meal is probably expensive. So his cheeseburger gut needed some more burgers. Now that's a good thing to assume. All he wanted was some more cheeseburgers. That's not it. They are all doing it, and it effectively disables you. Like, they disable your mind with the propagandized disinformation, but then they disable your ability with poisons they sell you, super male vitality, oral steroids. It's the worst form of steroids testosterone you can take. That's what kills bodybuilders. Bodybuilders don't take oral steroids. And when they do, they die. Like the one over in Europe, they had died a year and a half ago or so. And everyone's just like, yeah, you don't take oral steroids, because you don't process it through your liver. So why would you take oral super male vitality? What is it, a pre-steroid? Kind of the same thing, probably has the same results. That is why they inject steroids, because you don't take it orally. You can, and it works, but some of these other chemicals are really bad on your liver and stuff, so you try to bypass it. And they disable you by taking your funds from you as well. Alex Jones, man, selling those poisons, that's just like a whole nother form of disabling you, I guess, than the money. But the money, they take that from you, and then you can't do anything. You can't feed yourself, you can't feed your family, you can't get your vehicle fixed so you can go protest, you can't attend a protest because you can't afford everything else around the protest. You can't afford a book to actually look into these other people. You can't afford good internet, so you can't read up on these other people. You can't afford a new computer once they start attacking your computer. Forget being doxxed. Anyone who's doxxed is just, you're a pussy. Fucking shouldn't be on the internet if you're worried about it talking shit. If you're not worried about getting doxxed, if you care about it at all. But some people actually get hacked and phished and cracked and passwords altered and credit accounts hacked, stuff like this. Who did it? Who knows, right? Who knows? But I've been, a victim of all this stuff. But at the same time, when I was a kid, I did stuff like that for fun. But when you continually target people, that's not people doing stuff for fun. That's people targeting you. When you're just a prankster, you rarely hit the same target over and over. Especially if that target makes itself hard to hit, it would be like pointless to mess it, because you could just go mess someone else up real fast. It really is. The people who want to spend a lot of time hacking and cracking, they go straight for the government. Something hard, like a bank. And I don't mean changing your information in the bank. I mean changing the bank owner's information, changing the bank's algorithm, something like that. And generally, they go for government installations and stuff like that. And those are the most scary. So if you want to test your skills, you go up against something like that. But if you just want to harass people, there's quick ways to do that real fast. And generally, you wouldn't want to target just someone doing something over and over. You hit them and you run. You hit them and you run. You hit them and you run. It allows you to stay anonymous, but it's just easier that way. You don't care. You're not targeting someone. You're hitting them and running. You're hitting them and running. And when you do compile a list of 1,000 people and their information, when you run down that list, like 3 to 8 and 10 already, that information is no longer valid or something. Like, they either gave you the wrong information, you wrote it down wrong, or it's already been changed. It depends on what you're doing, how you're doing it. But people talking about getting doxxed, that's pointless, dude. They'll disable you through disabling your electronics and messing up your electronics and stuff like that. And whatever I've heard, look at that doo-doo crashed in LA, and the first people on the scene were like a Jewish medic team, that reporter on TV who talked about stuff around this subject. He didn't have any brakes. They said they could hack his car, but you don't have to hack a car to get rid of the brakes, but they didn't talk about anything else. But then again, the whole scene was, Israel firsters were on the scene in LA. I mean, Israel firsters were all the neighbors and all the witnesses in LA. So, I mean, that's what they say they do if you get too far near them. And I mean, if you read the Bible, that's what they did to Jesus, like 30 years ago, 2020 years ago, however exactly long that was. And so they have these methods of disabling you, and they go through them as much as they can. They'll take your ability to work away, like Marlon Brando worked for them. I mean, if you let's say you work in Hollywood, anyone else just works in Hollywood, you're an extra on the set, you're a set designer, you're a costume and wardrobe designer. Whatever you do, you just operate, you edit media on your Mac, whatever you do there. You start talking about these people, you don't work there anymore. You're under them. In this city, I mean, I don't know everything, but who doesn't work under them? Because the oligarchs of this city, the one everyone's talked about forever, is one of them. Now, there's a couple TV personalities and stuff like that who could be questioned, but we're talking about, the actual leaders of the city. Tom Cruise doesn't control LA, even though he probably could control it better than these Israel citizens are doing. They don't let their actors and stuff control their places. So they have these methods, all these methods. I mean, there's more methods than just poisoning you, cutting your brake lines or whatever. Or they say there's, the CIA said there's all these other weapons, heart rays and stuff like that. Jim Trafficant fell under his tractor. Who knows how that happened? 70 years of working on tractors, but apparently he doesn't know how to not stay out from under a tractor. That's got to be really hard too. Like at first I was just like, well, hey, he's older, it could happen. But come to think of it, how do you fall under a tractor? How many of you city folk have ever seen a fucking tractor? How many of you city folk have ever fucking been on a tractor or even a riding mower? You don't even need a riding mower unless you're on the border of the city, out in some semi-country area. Not saying that some people don't get them still, but it's pretty rare. What happens when you fall under the tractor? Nothing? The tractor's not a tractor. If it's just a tractor, nothing. But if you're pulling big, I could see if you're pulling like some big grinder behind you, chopping off the corn, something like that. I don't remember the things, but looking back and looking at some of this other stuff, sounds like they'll throw you under a tractor too to disable you. But at the same time, Alex Jones is poisoning you. He is also in the colloidal silver. If you take too much of that stuff, you start turning blue. I'm not saying it doesn't have effects and can't work, but the people who take a lot of that stuff turn blue, literally, like Smurfs, and it's pretty noticeable. So when he's poisoning you, he's also taking your money. So it just shows that they don't do much of this stuff for one reason at all. But one of their methods of disabling you is creating a reason for you to give them the money you do have that you didn't already give them. And Tommy is one of these people who need your money right now. But he doesn't need your money because he's been lying to you. Just like Andrew Anglestein. He's been lying to you. He doesn't need your money. He doesn't need your fucking help. He did like semi-create this group, but at the same time he lied to deceive and lead astray. In more than just the Trump instance, there was other times. No one ever talked about, no one ever looks up anything. No one ever researches what they say at these sites. They just take it. But when you do, you find out generally everything you can find out something about. But like the Taylor Swift thing I did a video on, still up there on the site every day. Taylor Swift, she's a Nazi. She's a queen of white people, and that's not realistic at all. That's not who you're going to look at as a leader of white people at all. Blonde, just any sort of buxom blonde. All right, that doesn't work, dude. It's not realistic, and you can't lie about that. When you go to the military, they don't like now, we always see glamorized things in the military where they have, maybe they did paint some women on their planes or something, or at least at the air show they got some women painted on the planes, the bombshell blonde and all that stuff. But in the real military, you start drawing women in your like locker, man, your sergeant's gonna smack you upside the head with a boot. They might have a picture of a naked woman on the wall or something, but they realistically don't paint like women on the tanks, and they don't go around going, women is our saviors. That's what the military is all about. We gotta go across seas because women is good people and we're saving them, son. Like, here, when you cocked the bolt and you reload the sniper ammunition, that's a woman. It's like putting your penis in a woman. They don't bring women into real discussions. When you taught math, they don't discuss women at all in math. When you taught English, they rarely would. Maybe to get you interested in it, they'll have a story about Romeo and Juliet or something. But when they start talking about the women and having the women, it's like always a deception now. So when England brings in the Taylor Swift, it's like an obvious deception. Like, you're just going to go Google Taylor Swift pictures instead of actually researching something he says. But just think about that. This is about to end, I think. Who freaking knows? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, I guess. It says we're way off, but the video cut it off about double this time after. So it says we can go on for like 4 or 5 hours. But apparently the video before only lasted like 40 minutes or something. See what I'm saying about these? Every time I tell you something about these devices, it's a different one. Doing and saying stupid stuff. Acting up, not working right. Cutting out my audio on important videos, but nothing on any other video really. No problem there. But I think he's just trying to take your money. This is another scam to get your money. They have these, like every year one of these deceptors has a money bomb. They got to keep your money rolling in so you can't go actually do anything. So you can't even have a life. And that's another part of the attack, is to keep you tuned in to their bullshit fear-mongering propaganda. And so you don't have a life. You tune in every day. Gotta watch it. Gotta watch it 2-3 times a day. But they attack you from all these levels. And this dude, it just sounds like this is just another stage attempt to get your money from you. How much you want to bet that Robert, Spencer, and Pamela Geller and pals are having some sort of Save Tommy money bomb? Save Crypto Tommy. Give him all your money, guys. He needs your money big time. See ya.